the great state of Florida, is a United States Navy veteran. I'm joined by Rick Scott. Senator Scott, welcome to the Hugh Hewitt program.
Kurt, you know who you would like? You would like my dad. He did all the combat jumps in the Second World War with the 82nd Airborne.
What? Senator Scott, he jumped at Normandy. He jumped at Market Garden. Holy cow!
Market Garden. Yep.
Oh my gosh!
So sixth grade education. Never thought he'd come back alive. It was a pain to get him to talk about it. So it was so much work.
It's Senator Scott's the heroes who don't talk about it. Wow, that legacy, I'm sure, is some that and the understanding of the men and women who fight for our country is some that I think is probably on your mind every day as a member of the Armed Services Committee. You're going to be asked to look at the potentially, assuming Joe Biden is inaugurated. We'll keep an asterisk by this guy. It looks like he's going to appoint an Army General, Lloyd Austin, who's got a good record. But I'm a little concerned that Lloyd Austin, being an Army guy with Mike Milley, Chairman of Joint Chiefs, also an Army guy, may not be as, and this pains me to say, as Navy-friendly as he needs to be in the face of China. What do you think about that? And are you inclined to grant him the waiver he needs to become SecDef?
Well, I think I'm like you. We got to get through this certification process for the presidential election first. But I worked with General Austin when he was at McDale at CENTCOM when I was the governor. So, and like you, my focus is going to be we're going to look at every one of these nominees, and I'm going to look to make sure, are they going to protect all of our men and women in uniform? Are they going to focus on things that are going to? I mean, look, we've got to understand China has become not just a competitor; they are an adversary. And if we don't have a strong Navy, how are we going to make sure that, one, we defend our national security, but Japan and Australia and work with India and Singapore and all the countries over there that we care about? So I think we've got to have a strong Navy.
Well, keeping that voice for a strong American military in place will lead us to Georgia, and I want to talk about Georgia in a minute. But let's stay on China, and let's say, and one of the guys from across the other side of the Capitol, Representative Eric Swalwell, just came out that he was apparently a victim, quote unquote, of a Chinese honey trap. Now, he's on the Intelligence Committee. You're obviously on Armed Services in the Senate. He's in the House. I know that you guys are loath to tell the other branch of the legislative branch how to do things, but how can Eric Swalwell stay on the House Intelligence Committee after being compromised this way?
Well, here's the thing, right? This is the guy that kept pushing the Russian, conspiracy narrative without the facts. And, look, you've got to be careful. I mean, look, China is out to harm us. There's no question about it. They are out to take away our freedoms. They believe in a totalitarian government run by the Communist Party of China worldwide. That's what they're focused on. So you've got, if you're in any position, including if you're a congressman or if you're a senator, you've got to be careful. And he clearly wasn't. And so I think he's got to look at, and the House has to look at how can he do his job. So if you look at Communist China, not only are they stealing our jobs, they're stealing technology. They put 1 million people in prison for their religion. They've taken away the basic rights of Hong Kong citizens. They lied and they militarized the South China Sea. They're helping Maduro down in Venezuela. They are our adversary. The first thing we can all do as individuals, don't buy anything from Communist China. I have a bill that would require Amazon and Walmart and all these online resellers to disclose where things are made. Because you know what? You and I will make the decision. I'm not buying anything from China. But it's hard if you don't know where these things are made on these websites. And so we've got to understand they are clearly our enemy now.
Well, Senator Rick Scott of the great state of Florida, I think that's an excellent idea. I want to know whether the product I'm buying is made in China before I buy it. I don't want to show up with Chinese characters on the package. That's happened. Right. But the fact is the Chinese have and their intelligence services have made a concerted effort to infiltrate our research establishment, our corporate establishment, our entertainment establishment, our media establishment, and yes, even Congress. And do you think that you'll be able to build a coalition of pro-American legislators who are willing to take this stand against China, because China is going to push back, and frankly, it's got the pink slip of far too many Americans in our ruling elite?
It's hard. I mean, Kurt, you just get fascinated up here. You and I can just look around and say they are not our friend. And I've done everything I can to try to get people to understand the problem of communist China. But I proposed a bill that would say that we got to be careful about Chinese researchers coming on here and working on a vaccine. Can I get the Democrats to help on it? No. They're appeasers. I mean, look at what Obama did in Cuba. Obama goes down there and we're gonna change who you are by being nice. And what they do, they did nothing. The Cuba regime didn't change. The Communist Party is not changing. So what we've got to do is we got to have people that are going to stand up. And so I'm going to do everything I can to get everybody, including all the senators and congressmen, to understand they have become our arch enemy. They are out to demolish our way of life. Show up and start fighting against them.
Well, speaking of fighting, Senator Rick Scott, we've got a fight ahead of us on January 5th, a fight to maintain control of the Senate and maintain control of America's agenda. We need, assuming Joe Biden is inaugurated, and again, we have to wait until all the court cases have finished, but assuming that he's inaugurated, you guys in the Senate will be the firewall. That makes Georgia vitally important. What are we doing down there to win in Georgia and, frankly, not make some of the mistakes we made by being complacent before November 3rd?
Well, first off, we've had a lot more people in the ground game. We have 1,000 people down there, paid staffers that are organizing all the volunteers to get the vote out. We are working to make sure that the games that the Democrats were able to play in the November election, they're not going to be able to play. We got to make sure these signatures are, on mail-in ballots, they're matched. What I learned in my election, people forget that 2 years ago I won my Senate race. I won by 54,000 votes election night. Chuck Schumer sent a lawyer down and said, I don't care what the votes are, we're going to win through the court. So the other thing they're doing in Georgia is doing what I had to do in Florida, get ready for the legal fights, and we were. So I'm the incoming chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, and one of the things I'm going to do is make sure that we start fighting when the Democrats are trying to get rid of voter ID, when they're trying to get rid of signature match, when they're trying to make it easier to commit fraud and lack of transparency. So we're fighting now. Hopefully the Secretary of State will do the right things and make sure this is a free and fair election. I think we're going to win for this reason. I think Republicans and independents and probably some Democrats are going to come out to say, I don't like what Chuck Schumer is saying. I mean, Chuck Schumer is saying he's going to take Georgia and then change the country, and his change means pack the Supreme Court, take away our First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights. He wants the Green New Deal, which will cost us 5 times our annual gross domestic product in this country, kill our economy. He wants to ruin health care by ruining the Medicare program and kicking 150 million people off of health care. And Democrats don't support our law enforcement community or our military. Think what Obama did to our military in his 8 years. So we've got to win these. I think we're going to win them. Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are great candidates, and the other side are going to be puppets for Chuck Schumer. That's what they are.
Well, we're not going to let him win, Senator Rick Scott, and you're going to keep winning if you stay here on the Hugh Hewitt radio program.